What does Africa
have to do with a bell tolling?
You'll find out in this week's Tops. Oh, in this week's, whatever.
Hello everyone and welcome to Tops episode number 6. And if you watched last week's video, you will know that this is our second week of our Christmas series that we have been doing. So Daniel, do you want to tell them what we are going to be doing today?
Yeah, well in this week's Tops, last week we did Christmas movies. This week we're going to do Christmas songs. These are not original songs by artists today. Most of them are based on traditional Christmas carols, ones that everyone knows. So Ben, you start us off with your first one.
Okay, so as at the end of my list, like number 5, it's a bit more well-known Christmas carols. So what I have for number 5 is "O Holy Night," and I don't know, I really like that song. It's an interesting song. I mean, I like the words and everything, but I really like the music, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on with the notes and the melody. And I especially like Straight No Chasers version. If you haven't heard of them, they are an a cappella group who does outstanding Christmas music. And I believe they have like 3 albums or so, of Christmas music. So definitely check that out if you have the time.
Yeah, we might post a link to some of Straight No Chasers Christmas videos in the description so you can find it on YouTube. But yeah, "O Holy Night" is an amazing song if it's done well. It has some really high spots. It's really funny if people mess it up.
Yeah.
But I do remember hearing that song for the first time. Number 5 on my list is I have 2 of them to title number 3. So I'm going to say number 5 on my list is "I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day." Now this one was originally written as a poem by I believe it was Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And it's a really neat poem talking about how this person is hearing the bells ringing on Christmas Day and how they say peace on earth, goodwill to men, and the person thinks how there is no peace on earth, and it just goes through a little bit of the Christmas message and saying that there will be peace on earth one day. And it's just a beautiful song that was beautiful poem that was put to music.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the lesser known Christmas carols.
Yeah.
Unlike Jingle Bells, which is my number 4. And Jingle Bells, I don't know, it's probably one of the most stereotypical Christmas carols. I mean, it doesn't really have a strong message, and I don't even really know if it talks about Christmas. So I guess it's
sort of a wintry song.
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of the most carol songs, and I do like that song. And again, Straight No Chaser does a good job of singing that song too.
Yeah, they do a good job. Straight No Chaser does a good job of singing everything they sing, so.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4 on my list is "The First Noel." It seems like people, when they write a Christmas song, it's like their one shot to do something. And because Christmas only comes around once a year, they try to pack everything about Christmas into one song. And "The First Noel" is one of those songs that does that. It talks about the wise men, the shepherds, the baby Jesus, the angels, in like 6 verses of song, and so it can get a little tedious, but it's a good song that packs everything in about Christmas.
Yeah. And if you can, try to sing all 6 verses. That's pretty fun if you're able to do it. I mean,
it's hard on that one to pick and choose verses because they all flow. It's just it's almost like a ballad type of thing.
Yeah. All right. So number 3 for me has to be "What Child Is This?" And I like that song. I don't know. I like a little bit more like songs with darker tones with some of them, like ones that convey a meaning. But I like kind of a darker tone, like "O Come, Emmanuel," or this one. I just like a little bit more.
You got 2 in there.
Tony, yeah, I did, but that one wasn't on my list. But I especially like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra version of it. It breaks away a little bit from the traditional verses, and it has an amazing like chorus. I don't know, it's not really broken up into verse, chorus. So that one's a really great song.
Yeah, that Trans-Siberian Orchestra, "What Child Is This?" is one of my favorite Christmas songs to listen to. It's especially good like on a dark night when the snow's falling down just right. It's a beautiful song. Alright, so the next one on my list, number 3, I'll say is it can be either titled "Walking in a Winter Wonderland" or just "Winter Wonderland." It's another one that's sort of a wintry song. I like that song because it's sort of a peppy, just bum ba bum ba bum, you know. It
Yeah.
doesn't sound like that, but
Thank goodness.
it was a horrible impression. But it's just a very bouncy song. I really like it. It gives the whole wintry feeling.
Yeah, it's a very uplifting song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 2, I'm sure a lot of you have heard it, or pretty much all of you probably. It's "Carol of the Bells." Now, this is probably one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs, but I didn't have it as number 1. For the reason being that it doesn't really have a Christmas feel. I mean, it's used a lot around Christmas, but it's not really Christmassy, I suppose.
Yeah. I will just say, I remember when he first learned how to play the da 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 on the piano, and he was driving everyone in our house insane at Christmas time last year.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't last year, it was 2 years.
2 years ago, whenever it was, it seems.
Last year I learned another.
I still am sick of that song.
Oh, I love that song though. So
Okay, I do like Carol of the
Anyways,
Bells.
what's your number 2?
My number 2 is "Good King Wenceslas," because for the pure fact that I love saying Wenceslas. No, I've heard it before. I heard it before, and then we went to a Czech festival with our great grandma and great grandpa, and because we're part Czech somewhere in there, and I read a little booklet on King Wenceslas, and it was a neat story. And then I was looking for a song to put on my list, and I was looking through the Piano Guys Christmas album, and I was trying to find this one song that was my favorite in their album because it had a really cool piano part. And I clicked on "Good King Wenceslas," and it just happened to be that song. And so I thought, oh, I could put it in an extra one because those two combine so perfectly because they're the same song. So if you can, listen to the "Good King Wenceslas" by the Piano Guys, because it's not as slow as some of the traditional versions of "Good King Wenceslas." Wenceslas.
All right.
If I'm saying that wrong, correct me.
Yeah. So number 1 for me, it's got. What, are you hoping it's not the same
Yeah.
as you? I don't know.
Go ahead.
Okay. Number 1 has got to be "The Most Wonderful Time of the Year."
Yes.
Is that the same?
No.
Oh. Well, this is, I don't know, I think it's definitely like one of the most Christmassy songs just because it talks about Christmas, it talks why it's the most wonderful time of the year. It has a very strong melody line that it just is almost there. It's extremely cheery.
Yeah, it is though. In the production, "The Singing Christmas Tree," there's a spot where they sing that song. The choir sings it, and they're all the choir is dressed up in their red and sparkly costumes. The guys in their suits, the green suits, I think, and they're all swaying back and forth, and it's just a beautiful scene. They're singing "The Most Wonderful Time of the Year," and it's a really, really beautiful song. Okay, so number 1 for me has got to be the 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't really like this song until a few years ago. Our friends had us listen to the 12 Days of Christmas by Straight No Chaser. And this is one of the videos we're going to link to in the description.
Okay.
Because I'll make sure you link to it. Because it is a really cool song. The 12 Days of Christmas can get a little monotonous. With all the days and then repeating all of them. And Straight No Chaser really breaks it up really well. They skip some verses, put in some other Christmas songs. There's like 5 Christmas songs in there. And then at the end, I was going to say, you have to watch the video, but I'm just going to say, they switch into Africa, made popular by Toto. And it is the coolest transition from a traditional Christmas song into a, I don't know, whatever Africa is, but it's we were practicing Africa for a choir one year, and that's when they showed it to us because they mixed those 2 songs. So I really love 12 Days of Christmas by Straight No Chaser. That is probably my favorite Christmas song.
Yeah, that one is really good. Okay, so since I think we have a little bit of time, we can go over a few of our honorable mentions because there are so many Christmas songs out there. And I think, honestly, this was harder than choosing movies, top 10 movies or top 10 Christmas movies or whatever.
Definitely.
Because there's just so many different songs out there. So one of mine has to be "Christmas Eve at Sarajevo." It's not a carol necessarily, but it's a really good song. It's a song I love to listen to at Christmas time by Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And also anything by Straight No Chaser, which we already said. You probably think we're obsessed or something, but
We are.
and Christmas Time. That was the last one I was going to mention. That one just has a really good Christmas feel, and I don't think that one's as well known. But the rendition by Michael W. Smith is really good. I think one of the reasons I love that one so much is because we sang it with our choir a few years back, and that was like one of the best semesters of choir ever. So.
Yeah. And okay, on mine, I have, well, anything really in the A Family Christmas by the Piano Guys. They have some amazing songs. Most of them are piano and cello, just those. With one song, Angels We Have Heard on High, they have a music video for Look That Up by the Piano Guys. They pluck the strings on the piano, they pull their bow strings through the piano. The piano. It's an amazing song. Also, anything by John Schmidt in his Winter Serenade album. I like especially Pachelbel Meets You Too, and North Pole Express mixed with Ding Dong Merrily on High. So those are two of, well, more than two of my other favorites.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all for this week. In the comments, maybe tell us your top Christmas songs. You can mention as many as you want, and maybe mention some that aren't as well known, and we can see if we have heard them before. And
also make sure you like our videos, share with your friends and family if you have Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus. There's so many different little tiny social media sites, but whatever you have, just share it on there if you enjoy watching us ramble.
Oh, were you gonna finish that?
I was going to, and I forgot, so I'll let you finish it.
And so, like we said last week, we're gonna have a little bit, or some more content coming out. So please make sure you're subscribed, and you will be able to watch that as it comes out. So that's all for this week. Bye, guys.
See you next week.